We're all having a wonderful morning. Hi. Hope you also had some time to check out the Buy It Now. I have, I think, 48 items featured this morning. Some pretty cool things. Good morning. Good morning. Looking here. Let me get over to YouTube real quick and switch us over to subscribers only, and then we will get started. Give me 1 second. Hopefully I was having some casting issues this morning, so I'm hoping that we are in fact casting. Is it working? It's not showing yet. I'll give it a second. I know there's some really cool stuff in there, right? All right, let me see. Subscribers. Okay. Y'all set? Cool. All right. Well, I got my notebook ready with my notebook. So we should be good with that. Oh, it's today Earth Day. Oh, well, happy Earth Day, everybody. Happy Earth Day. All right, let's see what we got for notes today. Ooh, it's a long day. All right, we are going to start from the top. Oh, I wasn't casted on Facebook? Was I not casting? Oh, man. I wonder if I'm on YouTube. Oh, I'm on YouTube. I see you out there. I see you on YouTube. If you're over on Facebook or YouTube, come on over to Niknax.net. Come join us on Niknax.net because that is where we are hanging out. That is what we are talking about today. We currently have 42,186 members. That is 359 more members since last week. So welcome to all of our new members. It's wonderful to have you here. We've been at this a year and a half, so that's pretty good, I'd say. That seems to be about our average every week. And my phone is constantly notifications going off with new members, so that's very exciting. If you are new here, please remember to check out our chat channels, introduce yourself, browse around, check our Buy It Now listings. We have over 103,000 listings here on Niknax. Live sales happening every day. So pop into a live sale, check it out. We have 4,479 sellers currently. That is 76 new sellers since last week. I was trying to get us to 4,500 before coffee chat today, but I couldn't get us there. I tried. I was like, no, maybe I can. I ended up denying a lot of applications this week. So if you got rejected, please read your rejection email. Please read your rejection. I get a lot of comments on my Facebook page. I would like every time I try to promote Niknax on Facebook, people are like, well, I got rejected. So she's not including everybody on Niknax. She's rejecting people. Like people get really bitter when they get a rejection. And my response is always, did you read it? Because you didn't read it, did you? Because I think I've only outright rejected a few people. Obviously, the person who was trying to sell cats. There's been some really like silly ones that I've rejected. There's like one that's like Prada glasses, and I'm like, I think you might be a scammer. There's been some really like iffy ones, like cars. There was somebody who's like, I want to sell a car and a house, and I'm like, we don't really do that here. And those are the ones I've rejected, like outright rejected. So if you got a rejection, you need to read it. Read the whole thing because I'm asking for more information. And if you send me that information, 9 times out of 10, you're going to get an approval. So read your email. You know, it reminds me of back in like when I was in school and you'd get that like quiz. And it was like a pop quiz. And like, if you actually read the instructions at the top of the quiz, it was like, you get 100% if you stop here. But then you had all the kids that actually like went through and like and answered all the questions, and then they got an F. And they're like, why did I get an F? It's because you didn't read the instructions. You didn't read them. You didn't read the email. Oh, 415 new members. Christina just corrected me. I was like, you know what? I feel like we got more than that. She just corrected. So I think that was posted from last week. I was like, I thought we got, that sounds like exactly what we got last week. We got 415 new members since last week. I thought, it's like, wow, that seems like that is our average, because that's like exactly what we got last week. So we're like right on like a plateau here, 359 every week, but no, we got 415. So we did a little boop. So that's fantastic. Anyway, that was my little spiel about please read your emails. Get back to me with the information I requested, and there you go. Also, the rejections are coming from Team Niknax or Niknax Team. It's a separate account that is sending out the rejections and the messages at this point. So you will be getting that. All right. So let's talk notes. Let's talk about our notes. First up, Easter and spring vibes this week. It was a great weekend. I was happy to see people going live, embracing the weekend. I think that was fantastic. I was unsure about how it was going to go this weekend. I was like, well, there's a holiday weekend, so we probably won't have like a whole lot happening. But it was a busy weekend here on Niknax. It was kind of crazy. I feel like everybody was like expecting it to be like just kind of like, and then when they saw stuff was actually happening, they were like here for it. You know what I mean? You had 11 new buyers on Sunday. That's fantastic. I know, it was so happening. We had 2 events happening on Saturday. We had the theme park art train on Saturday, and then we also had the party like it's 1999. So we had 2 trains happening on Saturday. And then, of course, we had Easter, and we had live sales happening on Easter. So it was a great weekend. Lots of fun. So hopefully you guys enjoyed browsing around this weekend. Let's see. Yeah, so make sure you continue to check out the chat channels and all over, and enjoy the spring vibes. I've seen lots of spring-like listings, and it's kind of getting me like, oh, maybe I should list some flowers or some spring themey things. Happy Earth Day. It's right here in the notes. Happy Earth Day. I should have known it was Earth Day. I honestly don't even know what day it is. And then I'm like, oh, it's Tuesday. I better hop on here and talk about Niknax. It's probably the only day of the week where I'm like, oh, shoot, it's a Tuesday. What month? I don't even know. I'm writing a check. I'm like, what year is it again? So today's Earth Day. It's a good thing Christina put a reminder in here. She writes, as a supporter of Niknax, you are supporting not only small businesses and community, but you are supporting the health of the planet. And you're doing that by purchasing a lot of what we sell here on Niknax is secondhand. So remember that, as we are buying secondhand stuff, it's not that fast fashion, all that stuff. So it's a wonderful way. It's sustainable goods. So we really support you shopping here on Niknax, supporting small business, and also that sustainable goods. You know what I'm saying? Oh, whose birthday is it? Is it somebody's birthday? Whose birthday? It's Janine's birthday. Happy birthday, Janine. So absolutely. Great way to celebrate Earth Day is to do a little shopping here on Niknax. Let's see. That, includes obviously keeping items out of the landfill and promoting a circular economy where we reuse rather than discard and fill the landfills. is there anybody in the chat looking for anything in particular? This is a good one. So if you're looking for something, feel free to shout it out in the chat, and maybe one of our sellers can connect you with that. We also have the ISO chat channel, and a lot of people are like, what? Money. You and me both. Mara mugs. Oh, Mara mugs. I just found one of those at Goodwill the other day. We had the chat channel ISO, and a lot of people are like, what does that even mean? It means in search of. So if you are in search of something, you can post in the ISO chat channel, and maybe connect with one of our sellers, and they might have what you are looking for. So not only here in this, chat here, but you can also go into our chat channels on the side of the screen, and you can post there what you are looking for. Face pottery. Those are good ones. Shiny minis. Oh, I like that. All right, let's see. You can always use the search box too. But this is a good one. So here, obviously, I'm not really selling anything. We're talking Niknax, but a reminder that if you are, in fact, in somebody else's sale, we don't do this. You don't do this in somebody else's sale. So if they're like, oh, look, I've got these really cool glasses, you're not like, oh my gosh, I just listed those in my buy it now. We don't do things like that, okay? Because that's rude. So but that's not okay. So you can do it here. Absolutely. Because this is Coffee Chat. It's about supporting each other. It's about building the community, talking about our rules and guidelines, those sort of things. And I love to, see you guys supporting one another here in Coffee Chat. But when it comes to other people's lives where they're trying to support their families or they're trying to make a living, where, you need to respect the person who has the stage, who is live, and don't be like, hey, I have one of those. I just listed one of those. I have one of those for sale right now, and that sort of thing. All right. No stepping on toes. Absolutely. I mean, and the same goes for like, oh, I'm going live. Hey, I got to go live, that sort of thing. All right, let's talk about the chat channels. Staying on topic in the chat channels. That's important. When you're in the chat channels, try to stay on topic. There are specific topics for the chat channels. So let me actually pull this out and show you the chat channels. Let me get over there. I gotta go to Niknax on that. All right. So for those of you who are like, what is a chat channel? I know we have a lot of new members. Let me scoot you down. Okay. So here we have our chat channels on the side. So I say this every week. I show you guys. I have more chat channels than everyone else just because I am the owner. So I have more. But we have a lot of chat channels here. They serve different purposes. They have different topics. I was just telling you guys the in search of channel, we have in search of. So, if you're here in jewelry, and you're looking for something, you can go in the ISO in search of, and you can post here, I'm in search of. One thing I've noticed that is trending right now is Russian lacquered jewelry. A lot of people are selling that, and it is selling. So that's, you may be like, oh, I'm in search of a Russian lacquer pin with a castle on it, so you can post that in here. Maybe you're not even into lacquer jewelry and you're tired of seeing it everywhere. And you're like, I'm in search of something else entirely. You can post that. You have a show with those coming up. Yes. So there you go. So if that is your thing, absolutely go check out Born in the Wrong Century. So make sure you're using it and make sure you're staying on topic. Handmade, obviously it's all about handmade. So don't be going in there posting, your Fenton glass. This is about handmade. This is for our handmade artisans to share and talk about the things that they've made and to show each other their art. So, don't be like, oh, look at this Fenton vase. going to be featured in my upcoming live sale. Don't be doing that. Please stay on topic. That is the point of this conversation. So those are our chat channels, and they are really useful, when they are used correctly. when they are used correctly. So a few things about the chat channels that we've been seeing and we just need to be mindful of is, do not share your personal information in the chat channels. Do not be posting your email address. Do not be posting your address. Do not be posting your Venmo. do not post your phone number. Do not post. Oh, hello from Japan. Oh, that's fun. Do not post any of that information in the chat channels, okay? Because next thing you know, somebody's going to be signing you up for like hair care for men, and you're going to be getting these cold calls, and they're going to be like, hey, did you hear about our special on hair care? And you're going to be like, what? And that's because you put your phone number in the chat channel on Niknax, okay? Don't do it. It's a bad idea. Just think of all the other things they could sign you up for. So don't put your personal, and that goes for any forum, that goes for any, anywhere. Don't do that. Stranger danger is not just in the real world, it is also online. And it's not just for children, it's for adults too. Okay. Let's talk about sharing links. We've noticed a lot of sharing links, which it comes with, people are trying to be helpful. But one thing that can be dangerous about sharing links is you don't know who's sharing the link. Or maybe you do. Maybe, it's just like, it could be Claudine sharing the link. And we're like, oh, that's Claudine. She's sharing the link. Okay. But if it's somebody you don't know and you're like, oh, they're sharing a link to something and you click on it, it could be spam. It could be like any sorts of thing. So we want to encourage you guys not to be sharing links. Maybe share a picture of something. Like if you're like, oh, I don't want to say don't share, but like there's so many bad like phishing scams with links and stuff like that can steal your information. So just be careful when you're clicking on links around the marketplace. Just be aware and be conscientious of that. Like be like, okay, do I know who this is who's sharing this link? Like, okay, be careful. Okay. So maybe be like sharing, like, oh, people ask me all the time, like, what's the device that you use to hold your phone? Like, oh, this is I forget what it's called. It's a canvas thing. I could take a picture of it and post it and be like, oh, here it is. It's canvas. You can find it on Amazon, so you can do stuff like that. But just be careful is basically what I'm saying there as far as links go. Okay. Reporting things. When something doesn't feel right, remember that you can always report it to community@niknax.net. That is our help desk. And we've been getting a lot of messages to help desk, which we appreciate. I will say we won't always like follow up on something, but we do appreciate you guys sending us information, and so, and the important thing about that, and I say this every week, is, if you send us something, if you're like, oh my gosh, so this buyer is asking me for a refund, and I just wanted to let you know, because if this certain buyer is like, maybe it doesn't feel right, maybe they're like, oh, they're kind of like, they keep asking, maybe this is the second time they've asked you for a refund, and you're like, this is the second time they're asking me for a refund, and then I get another message from another seller that's like, oh, this buyer is asking me for a refund, and they're being really like insistent upon it, and then I have 2 emails about the same buyer asking for a refund. And then I'm like, ooh, I should probably look up this buyer. And then I see, when I look them up, several orders where they've been refunded. And then it's like, ooh, so this isn't good. So then I can look into that buyer and I can see what they're doing. I can find out more information about that. And then I can maybe send them a message and be like, hey, what's going on? Stuff like that. When something comes broken, so my preference would be if a buyer and a seller can work out things together. That's always my preference. I would love for you guys to be able to just message each other, work things out together. When things can't be worked out, when you can't, you can reach out to us. If we can't help the situation, community@niknax.net, we will escalate it to district, because ultimately they're the ones who are going to be able to make the final determination. They can control the funds and say, okay, well, this is going to be refunded here, or this is going to be refunded there. So they're the ones who will ultimately be able to make a financial decision on who's being refunded and where the funds are coming from. But I would, that's kind of like the steps that it goes through. So first step is, reach out to the seller, be like, hey, you send photos, if you're a buyer and something arrives broken, send photos of the item, send photos of the packaging. A lot of the times the packaging, the box is getting knocked around. So send photos of the packaging. Take a photo of inside the box, like if there wasn't sufficient packaging. So that way, if it does get escalated to us, it's like, well, look at the box. There wasn't enough packaging. And then it's like, ooh, the seller probably should have done a little bit more packing there. And so then we know maybe the seller was a little bit at fault. So stuff like that. Another thing that we're getting reports of is other marketplace owners soliciting our members, which is kind of obnoxious. but if you are getting messages from other marketplace owners on district saying, hey, why don't you bring your listings over here? Or, hey, come join us here. Let us know, because they're not supposed to be doing that. That's just tacky. It's just kind of tacky. Like, it's and they're not supposed to be doing that. Spam activity. If you are getting spam, that's against our guidelines. So if you're getting like the same message multiple times, if you're getting like in the chat channels, even if you're seeing somebody posting the same thing over and over again, that's considered spam. And then also, be respectful during live sales. And if you see anything during a live sale that's like, ooh, this maybe wasn't, and you make sure you're taking screenshots. We say that all the time. If you see something in a live sale that you're like, oh, that wasn't good, send us a screenshot, because we can't do anything if we don't have this. Well, we can, because I can see it after the fact, but it's a pain to get it. So if you see something happening during a sale, just try to grab a screenshot and send it to us, because it's a lot easier than trying to get it after the fact. All right, let's see. I have a few things on here that are not on our notes, so I'm going to go over those real quick before we get to the next item. All right. I want to remind everybody that we have a guideline in place that says our sellers must ship out within 3 business days. That is our Niknax standard. You must ship out within 3 business days. What I have been doing is I have been going back in time. I've been going back like 2 weeks, and I've been looking at our orders on Niknax, and I've been looking at which orders are not fulfilled. So if you are a seller and you have an order that was not fulfilled from like 2 weeks and beyond, I am either reaching out to you or I am reaching out to your buyer. And I am asking, did you get this item? Or did you ship this item? Because what I've noticed is that we are having sellers who may not be shipping their items. And if we're not hearing about it until 2-3 weeks after, that's a problem, because they're continuing to sell for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 1 month. And it's like, whoa, wait a second. And then it's a month in and they have a whole month's worth of sales where we're just now hearing about it. And that's an issue. I have 2 sales in a week. Some buyers has to have their box open. Okay. Well, in that case, we would probably reach out to, if it's a seller who I know, like, another thing is if it's jewelry, I'm less likely to be like, ooh, what's going on here? If it's jewelry or smalls. But what I'm talking about is like a month ago. A month ago. Yes. And canceled orders are showing as unfulfilled. Yeah. But I'm noticing, like, I'm talking like dozens of unfulfilled. Dozens. So I'm starting to look at those past orders, seeing what has not been fulfilled and sending a message. So if you're a seller and you get a message from me and I'm like, hey, were these fulfilled? Like, don't be offended. Just be like, yeah, I sent that out. Here I went, and sometimes when you take it directly to the post office, you might not have tracking. And that's fine. Like, but I just need to know. I need that peace of mind because I don't want our buyers not receiving their item. And, hey, that's a reflection on us. That's a reflection on Niknax. That's a reflection on our entire community. So I'm keeping a closer eye on that. And another way I can tell is not just going back and looking at unfulfilled, but also looking at a seller's shipping time. So if the shipping time is more than 2 weeks, that's also an indicator. So even if it's not scanned, it takes a lot of packages that are like a long, it takes a lot to kind of add up to this like realization. So you guys don't have to worry like too much. And you're probably just going to get a message from me. Be like, hey, so I noticed you have like 10 packages from like a month ago that are unfulfilled. Could you just did you ship those? Did you ship those? Did those get sent out? Can you just let me know? And hopefully you're like, yeah, I took those to the post office. Like, I have a tracking number, and that's cool. All right. But for those of you who are taking them directly to the post office, you can actually put your tracking number into the order. And so then it's in the system. And then you can get paid out sooner too. That's the benefit of loading your tracking number into the system, is once the tracking number is in there, you can get the payout sooner. So keep that in mind. That's the benefit of doing that. The other thing I wanted to talk about was sterling. Please, if you are buying and selling sterling, we do have guidelines for buying and selling gold and sterling here on Niknax. Obviously, we do have rules about disclosing the metal. If it's signed or unsigned, if it's tested or untested. It's important to note that there's a lot of stuff out there that is signed and not genuine. I mean, last week we had a huge discussion about the stuff from Italy that is marked 925 and just plated. So one of the things I wanted to suggest is if you are a seller here on Niknax and you are selling sterling that is marked and untested, as a reminder, please be stating that it is untested, first of all. Second of all, I would suggest getting a rare earth magnet first thing. And even if it's untested, just running your magnet over the jewelry. Because if it is not sterling, it might stick to the magnet. And that's like your first indicator that, wait a second, what's this? So I'm going to suggest that if you are selling sterling, that you invest in a magnet, because that could be like, oh, that's a clue right there. As for buyers who are purchasing sterling, one suggestion I would have is buy the jewelry with the thought that maybe it's not sterling. Wait, what are we talking about? What? Wow, okay, that digressed. So if you're buying it, buy it with the thought that it might not be sterling. Yeah, a strong magnet. Like, but like with the hopes that it is. You know what I'm saying? I have a really severe metal allergy, so I can tell right away if it's not sterling. If I wear it for like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, I start getting a rash. It's like, okay, this is definitely not sterling. And it's just so much as the clasp, like just rubbing against my skin. And I'm like, okay, I know. But I'm very careful about the jewelry that I purchase. What's the name of the magnet? It's like it starts with an N, I think. I can never remember what it's called. I just call it a rare earth magnet. A bumpy rash, yeah. An N52, is that what it's called? N52 magnet? It's a neodymium magnet. Is that what it's called? A neodymium magnet? Oh, okay. Well, that was easy. Just like the glass, neodymium. All right. So just, as a buyer, use your best judgment. Just assume that it's not sterling and be happy if you get it and it is sterling. And sellers, try the magnet trick. But anyway, that's kind of what I wanted to talk about with sterling. So reminder, 3 days, 3 days shipping. I know some buyers request open box, but just don't be offended if I reach out to you and I'm like, hey, just wanted to check in. And then also the sterling. Okay. Now let's talk about paperweight extra. Yeah, 3 business days. That's important. It's 3 business days. So if you sell on a Friday, Saturday and Sunday don't count. It's, it starts on Monday, Friday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. All right. Paperweight extrav. We've got paperweight extrav coming up. So due to the high demand of the paperweight extrav, which we usually see, I think it filled up rather quickly. We've decided, and you guys probably assumed this was going to happen, to add an extra day to the paperweight extra. So we are going to be adding Monday. So now it's going to be Friday, Fast Friday freight, and then Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Yes, signups were last night. Signups were last night, but we are adding Monday. So, and it was posted. I think the announcement was posted in the Gazette. So Christina I've noticed through the help desk, Christina has been getting a lot of help desk tickets because I see them come through and I just assign them straight to her. I'm like, oop, paperweight Christina. So she's kind of been inundated with a lot of messages. So please be patient with her as she kind of gets through all of the messages post signups. But she is working her way through them. I'm sure she's also getting DMs. So between help desk and DMs and actual emails to Christina@Niknax.net, where the emails should be going. You can see in the chat there, Christina@Niknax.net. She's pretty inundated. So we are going to add Monday. All right. So did we already open Monday? Or your homepage has acne? What does that even mean? What is going on with the comments? Oh, God. This is a wild comment section today. I'm like, the notifications. All right. Let's talk about, oh, look, you did have sterling in here. I just can't read. It was like hidden. It was hidden down in, you just snuck it in there. Fun tools for reselling. Please share some of your go-to tools. That's a tongue twister. For selling or when listing buy it nows. Personally, like, we love the Scotty peelers around here. I pretty much always have a Scotty peeler within my reach. We've got Scotty peelers. We've got Sharpies, Scotty post-it notes. What would I do without the post-it notes, right? Is WorthPoint worth it? I think WorthPoint is becoming obsolete. Just because, the values anymore are how much is it worth in that moment when you are selling it, who's in the room, and that's that. Live selling is kind of changing the game. So I think, I think it's just a yes and no. I don't think it will be worth it. Yeah, live sales kind of did that. Bomb cleaner. Yep, that's a good one right there for cleaning glass, like hard water stains out of vases and stuff. Okay. Another tool would be that neodymium magnet to check for solid silver. Now, just because it passes the neodymium magnet test does not qualify it. Even if it's marked and it passes the neodymium magnet test, does not automatically qualify it as sterling. It could still be some sort of metal besides sterling that passes the test. So just always be suspicious of your 925. And you can always test it. So items that are plated can be marked EPNS, which is electroplated nickel silver. Yes. Or EP, which is electroplated. So let's do kudos and reminders. Shout out to all those who keep the community safe and fun. We do appreciate all of the notifications that come through on help desk. Sometimes it takes me a day or two to respond. Sometimes I'm like right on top of it and I'm immediately there to respond. It depends on how busy I am with filming, the YouTube, with family stuff, with everything else, but we do try to stay on top of it. Also, sometimes it depends on the complexity of your inquiry. So we do appreciate you guys reaching out to help desk. Let's see. So that and for those of you who don't know, the help desk is community@niknax.net. So that is our personal Niknax help desk. So that is a help desk that is monitored by Christina and I. So between the two of us, we're the ones responding to the help desk. If we do not have the answers, we escalate that to district. So we will respond and say, hey, I'm not really sure how to answer this, but I'm going to forward your email to district. And then you will get a response from district. So, which is usually Jerson. So he'll respond and he will be able to help you. And now, that is usually a lot of the technical questions. Like we get a lot of questions like, hey, I was locked out of my account, or hey, I accidentally created 2 accounts, or all of my listings disappeared, or stuff like that. I can't help you with that. I can barely figure out how to operate my own account, let alone somebody else's. So if we get technical questions, I'm going to forward them to district support. But stuff like, hey, this person is being disruptive in my live sale. Hey, this person hasn't shipped my things. Hey, this person is claiming this item arrived damaged and it's not. I sent it out perfectly fine. Here's the screenshots, stuff like that. I'm going to look at and I'm going to look into. And usually that involves me rewatching the sales. I spend a lot of time rewatching live sales. Even when they're deleted, I rewatch them, sometimes hours of sales. So I do look in. I don't usually take people's word for things. I do look into them. So if I do receive a report, I am going to look into it. I'm not just going to be like, oh, well, he said this, so that's what happened. I'm going to look into all of it. So that's why screenshots are important, because if it's a screenshot, it's right there. It's black and white. So please be taking screenshots. It all comes back to that. All right. So Christina@niknax.net is all events. So if it's anything related to an event, you should reach out to Christina@niknax.net. niknax.net. And I know that's a little confusing because originally we were directing you to community@Niknax, but then we decided to use that email as help desk, and we gave Christina her own email, christina@niknax.net. Now, if you were to email community, we do respond, or I assign that to Christina. So it works out. But if you really want to get straight to Christina, it's christina@niknax.net. And then we also have the report button on the dashboard. Okay, so there is a report button on the dashboard. This is for dashboard. We have the new dashboard now. The report button on the dashboard is only for reports related to glitches on the dashboard. So if you are on the new dashboard and you notice something is not working on your dashboard only, you can use the report. Do not be reporting, hey, I'm having issues with this buyer, or hey, I'm having issues, with, I don't know, but only be reporting hey, this isn't showing up, or I can't get this to work on this dashboard. So that is what the report button is for on your dashboard. All right. Are you guys still there? Nobody's commenting. It's kind of wild. You guys are quiet right now. Are you still there? You guys are just listening to me talk. It's kind of weird. You guys are just absorbing everything I'm saying. Hey, hi. Okay, all right, cool. So that is what the report button is for. And then of course you have the district support homepage. You're taking notes. I love it. You have the district support homepage. So if you guys, when I share my screen, thank you, everybody. Thank you. You're mesmerized by the packing sound. I know, right? I think Shelby's in there packing away. All right, let me just show you real quick. I mean, when I share my screen, you guys see it. But here, I don't want to give too much away because I have my orders up. I don't want to show all that. So here, if I show you guys this, this right here, when I click this is district support. So you can join district support, and you can join their marketplace, and this will help you as well. So, there's all these seller questions, new updates. So you can join in here. Okay. District support. So that is also a great place to go to get information, and all of that. So I think, let me see, what do we have here? I have to get back to my notes. This is always the hard part when I click off my notes with all my 7 million tabs being open. Okay. All right, let's talk about our events coming up, shall we? This Friday just so happens to be Handmade Market. Yay, events! And that is, and with the Handmade Market comes our Meet Your Maker train, which is always lots of fun. Our artists pull together, and we have a live sale event on top of Handmade Market. So that is all day. A lot of the times it's demonstrations, it's, showing off their art. And the Meet Your Maker theme this month is Let Your Freak Flag Fly. I can't believe I've gotten that right almost every week. And I think this was the last week. Well, no, I might have to say it again next week. I'm going to nail it again. The idea is to show how your individuality, uniqueness, interests, and passions translate into your art. I know I did it. I'm proud of myself. Thank you. Basically, you do you. You do you. Just show how you put yourself into your art, basically, which is lots of fun. So that will be on Friday. I want to encourage, all of our community to hop into Niknax on Friday to show our artists some support. On fourth Friday of every month, we change our entire homepage over to handmade. So you'll see all of our categories switch over. And we're going to have handmade everything. That doesn't mean you can't shop handmade anytime, but just on the fourth Friday, it's all featured on our homepage. So you can go and check that out on Friday. It's a little bit more accessible. You don't have to search as hard for it. So make sure you come and check us out on Friday. And then this weekend, we have our next big Niknax event. And it is our halfway to Halloween, which should be lots of fun. I think I might dress up. I don't know. We'll see. Depends on how it depends on how ambitious I'm feeling. If I'm like, oh man, yeah, I'm gonna do it. We'll see. So halfway to Halloween is April 26th and 27th. Oh shoot, that's Ashton's birthday. Yeah, my son's birthday is the 26th though. I'm gonna be live on the 27th because I have to figure out what we're doing for Ashton's birthday this year. Feels like we always have an event on my children's birthdays, but I'm gonna be live on the 27th. I picked the 27th. So Christina's gonna be launching it on April 26th. I'm sure she's gonna dress up. She probably has been slaving over crafting her Halloween costume now for months. She probably had this all planned. She's like, okay, and then we're gonna do halfway to Halloween. I'm gonna make this elaborate costume, and she's been like brainstorming what she is going to make for months now. Because that's what she does. And then I'm going to just show up in a spirit Halloween costume and I'm going to be like, here I am, guys. I went out and just bought a costume. All right. So hopefully you guys can join us this weekend. It's going to be fun. Even if you're not here to, I know she's going to set the standard. She's going to launch it. And then she's going to set the bar for everybody after that. Okay. She's going to set the bar. Watch her show up without a costume. She's just gonna be like, hey guys, we're here. She's gonna just show up as Christina. All right, so hopefully you guys can join us. It's gonna be fun. I mean, even if you're not like showing up to buy anything, even if you're just popping in, checking it out, saying hi, seeing what our sellers have to offer, I know that everyone's just gonna enjoy your company, your encouragement, and your support. So also our homepage is going to have Halloween. So make sure, I might include some fall and autumn stuff as well. I know not all of our sellers celebrate Halloween. I know my parents didn't celebrate Halloween. So I might include some fall and autumn stuff on the homepage as well for those who may not celebrate Halloween, but would like to participate as well. So we will do that on the homepage. And I might make those tags. I might make those tags now just so that we have that built up. So you guys can start tagging yourself. I mean, we do have Halloween tag already, but maybe I'll make like a fall decor tag that you guys can use at least until then. Let's see. How do I report an issue on my Android? I don't know the answer to that, but I did see your help desk ticket and I did escalate it to district support this morning. So I have escalated your ticket and hopefully they get back to us shortly. You should check your email. Hopefully you get an email from them. You're welcome. You're welcome. All right. So Paperweight Extravaganza is now 4 days. You can shake your Android. Okay, there you go. Shake, shake, shake. All right. So we have Paperweight Extrav is May 30th, 31st, June 1st, and June 2nd. That's 4 days of paperweights. That's a little intense, but I'm here for it. So come and join us for the paperweights. I'm excited. I'm ready for it. I'm gonna be I gotta get serious about my paperweights now. I have some. I don't know, can you guys see right there? Maybe you guys can't see them that well. Right here. That's not very many. That's not enough. I need more. So I gotta start hoarding the paperweights now. So the Fast Friday freight will be the Friday before the event. So that's great for anyone who is like, I don't have enough paperweights for the extra. Because the extra is like 30-minute slots, hour-long slots, 2-hour-long slots. If you don't have enough for that, the Fast Friday freight is perfect for you because it's just 15 minutes. And I mean, you can go as fast or as slow as you want. And you can like drag it out by talking a lot. You could be like, oh, I've only got 5 paperweights, so I'm going to just talk a lot during in between. I don't believe we're not going to do both. Occasionally we'll be like, okay, but I feel like we're going to have enough of a response that we're not going to do both on that. Signups will be posted that week though. So the signups for the Fast Friday Freight paperweights is going to be posted that week. And lastly, as a reminder, please practice kindness. I mean, that's always a thing here. You know, we always try to lead with kindness and community and all of those things. I will say that one thing I have noticed is as district grows, I am noticing that we are getting some trolls into Niknax. So if you guys happen to see that happening, and they're and Stacy, and you don't have a moderator and admin in your sale, you can block somebody from your sale. You can kick them out. You as a seller have the power to click on somebody's name and ban them from your sale. Okay, so if you're a live seller and somebody's being disruptive, somebody's causing trouble, you can click on their name. Let me just verify I can do this. And you can kick them from your live stream. Okay. So you can get rid of them. All right. That is a feature that all live sellers will have. All right. So just keep that in mind as we start to get some overflow from other markets. This is the drawback of being connected to the mothership. At some point, I'd like to just and really just like float away, like be like a floating island, and just float. How do you become a moderator? I nominate moderators. Moderators here on District have a lot of power. And so it takes a lot to become a moderator. Even when they first released the moderator role, there was so much power that I'm like, yeah, I don't think I need any moderators. And they're like, oh, like, well, why not? I'm like, well, that's a lot of power. I don't know if I want people having that much power over. So then they cut it back a little bit, and that's when I started adding moderators. So that's the kind of the story behind moderators. I can't remember exactly, but it was like a lot of power over the marketplace. Like they could change a lot of different things, and they could move things around and really like manipulate things. And I was like, oh, I don't know. I don't know if you like that. So that's kind of why we don't have very many moderators. But I think in an ideal situation, whoever's leading us, whoever's leading a sale would be able to choose their own moderators for that sale, or for their shows. Period. I mean, that would be amazing. But I just wanted to remind everybody that you can boot anybody from your stream. So, and they can't come back in. They can't come back in for that stream. They can come back in for the next stream. But this is why it's important to screenshot, because if they see something nasty, if they see something mean, if they see something vulgar, which happened last night, by the way, that person got booted from Niknax. If they say any of those things and I get a screenshot and I look at that comment and I'm like, yeah, we don't tolerate that here, they will be booted from the entire marketplace, and then they can't come back in, period. So that's why screenshots are so important. Okay. So just keep that in, because like I said, as the district grows and they start having more marketplaces that attract the rowdy groups, when our live streams show up on the homepage, and those rowdy groups are in the district, and they see our live streams streaming there on the homepage, they're going to hop right in and they're going to start causing trouble. So that is one of the concerns that I do have. So, so to end this, remember, to practice kindness. You never know what someone is going through. And that's always, always keep that in mind. You never know what somebody's going through. Somebody also could be just having a bad day. So if you notice somebody's just being really grumpy or really miserable, just remember maybe they're just having a bad day, and try to show grace. Why do people do things? Why do people do things? I don't know why people do things. That's a very good question. Oh, Liz in NorCal, I sent you a message. I don't know if you saw it. I sent you a message. It's not bad, by the way. Oh, okay. All right. Just wanted to check. All right. So does anyone have any questions? I'm going to stick on here for another 12 minutes for questions. And then I'll hop off. What is the private mode for lives? I just noticed it. When is an instance it would be used? Oh, I didn't even know we had that yet. Do we have that? Ooh. Oh, maybe I need to read my text messages better. Well, Hidden House answered. Okay. Oh, that. Okay. Yeah. It's not for listings. It's for lives. Well, for instance, if you wanted to, I'm trying to think this through, because I don't know exactly what feature was released, because let me see if I can open my text here. Text messages. So for instance, I feel like it could be like an invite only. You could do an invite only private live. So then you just send out the link like a private event. So for instance, if we were to theoretically start offering mentoring, we could have private sessions that would include links. In theory, if that was available. So yeah. So it is a way to do an invite only. So I'll have to brainstorm. I mean, I could come up with some ways that may be beneficial to do that. I mean, honestly, the way I see it working is the potential for subscriptions here on Niknax. And I think that's likely on other marketplaces, how they are going to utilize that. Is probably through their subscriptions, which we don't have here. We've talked about having here. I got feedback on that, and then people are like, I don't really like that idea. And so then I kind of like backed off on that a little bit. But my guess is on other marketplaces, those will be like, you have to pay for these private sales. That would be my guess. You have to pay to get into these like exclusive lives. Yeah. Is there a way to turn on or off sudden death on multiple items all at once instead of going to each listing? I don't know the answer to that. I will write it down now. You mean just like maybe update maybe update the format on any format on multiples all at once. What do I do with a listing with a pre-bid that didn't run? You can add it to another sale and it'll still have that pre-bid. Let me see. Preload generic photos and use those to add an item someone may want me to run. I honestly don't know how the Android works. I don't know. I feel like, I'm going to add chat channel for Android. Because I feel like we need a chat channel for Android and for Android Android users to commiserate and answer questions for each other, because I don't know the answers for Android, unfortunately. Thank you. Yes, I feel like you do. I feel like that's needed. Junk. What is junk? Yes, it can take a while to get approved. It can take a while. So sometimes people, it's just approving applications the other day that have been waiting for a year. So some that have been waiting for a month, some that have been waiting for 6 months. So it's just kind of, I'm throwing pens. And I've been denying them as well. I've been denying applications that were waiting for a year or 6 months, asking for more information. It's been a process. Another thing is, if you were approved as a seller and you would like to apply to go live, you can look under the chat channels under Get Started, and there's an Apply to Go Live option. And you're not really applying to go live, it's just onboarding. So they're just, Sienna does the onboarding, and she just shows you which buttons to click. She'll just show you what buttons to click. Oh, that's so sweet. I love it. Yeah, feel free. If you have questions, feel free to post them over in the chat channels. Our members are amazing. They've been so good about answering questions and helping one another and building each other up. It's been great. How to go about shipping. Shipping, I also am not very good at answering those questions because I don't do the shipping. Do you guys have any more questions for me that aren't related to shipping and don't have anything to do with Android? Because you will stump me and I will not have the answers for you. I'm sorry for that. You want a shirt like mine? Oh, this is my merch. Doing a sale as a buy it now seller. I don't. Well, Thrifty DIY does a buy it now show. She does buy it now shows and she takes offers on items. Do you have someone who can help value items? No, we don't. We don't really have that. I would suggest looking at eBay sold. And as far as appraisers, I always recommend George the Antique Nomad. He is amazing and extremely knowledgeable. I am not going to Renters. I don't do extra weekend. I actually haven't been there in forever and ever. George the Antique Nomad. He is on YouTube. You probably just look up the Antique Nomad. How to put items on sale. So if you just reduce the price of an item, it shows as reduced. Like it'll have a cross out and then it'll show as it's less. So that's one way to do it. So the reason that we did Survey Genius on paperweights and also on the glass show is because of the popularity of both of those events. It just was so it's just such a huge event, and there's so many people hopping in and trying to sign up that inevitably people are writing over one another, and we're getting all these reports like so and so wrote over me and this happened, and we have people creating slots for themselves and adding on times, and it's very chaotic to have the Google Doc for the high demand sales. So that's why we kind of switched to using the this format for the high demand ones. Sign Up Genius. Hopefully there will be a solution soon for signing up for trains, but I don't know how soon. Yeah, I mean, no matter what we do, I feel like there's going to be issues, unfortunately. Oh yeah, snacks. Okay. Macy says she got a message saying snacks aren't allowed on Niknax. Snacks are now allowed on Niknax with approval. And several of our sellers do have approval for snacks. I do have more requests to go through. So we are allowing snacks. There are guidelines for the snacks, and you can find those under our guidelines. So you have to be approved to sell snacks. Approval is required, and you have to state in your host notes that you are approved to sell snacks. They have to be manufacturer sealed. They have to be processed. They can't be expired. There's a whole list. And they have to follow both our guidelines, and then they also have to follow district guidelines. So they have to follow both, like all the guidelines in order to be sold. And you can find those under guidelines. And so if you can follow all of those rules, then we can give you approval. So what is the angle on? So a lot of the snacks I'm seeing sold are like local, a lot of local snacks. You've sold over 30 snacks. I sell New Orleans snacks because I'm from here. There you go. So that's what Macy's selling. I've seen snacks from Trader Joe's. I've seen other like local snacks being sold where you might not be able to get them anywhere else, but they're like local snacks. Stuff like that. Fun stuff. Yeah, it's like real snacks. Yeah. I mean, it's just kind of fun. If you're like shopping, for glass, you can like, oh, I'm going to buy a bag of snacks to throw in the box, and so like you get your vase and then you get like some snacks. Yeah, Buc-ee's. Yeah, I saw a request for that come through. Would coffee be considered snacks? Yes. Drinks. Yeah, I think drinks also falls under snacks. I would say so. Yeah. Homemade. No, so it cannot be homemade because then it's not processed. It's not like FDA approved. It's made homemade. Yeah, we can't do homemade. That doesn't go with the guidelines. Yeah, it has to be like FDA approved. Yeah, and no expired snacks. No expired snacks. This is fact. Um, so, is there any more questions? Because if not, I'm gonna hop on off of here. How many sellers can have the same snacks because you've been mentioned? Right now, no. I mean, if that's a good question. I haven't really thought about that. Right now, I'm not really looking too closely at that, but I feel like if it becomes an issue, then we might have to look a little closer on it. I thought that I thought the questions were supposed to be in a different color, but they're all the same. Okay, hang on. I'm having a hard time seeing the questions because they're kind of blending in with my shirt. So I'm still feeling pretty good about buyer seller ratio. I think we're going to slow down just a smidge on that. I did want to get through I did want to like catch up a little bit on applications because we were falling behind just a little bit. I had like almost 900 applications. So I needed to catch up a little bit. One thing like you guys can be doing as sellers and just as members, it's not even just sellers, is making sure that you are posting about Niknax on your social medias, that you're casting, that you're getting the word out there, because just like one post to Facebook like, hey, I'm selling on Niknax, or hey, look what I found on Niknax, or look what I bought, look what I'm decorating with, like just little posts like that, just spreading the word and letting people know about Niknax. Getting the word out there, that's helping grow. And the more we grow, the more people know, the more people hear about it, the more we can bring into the community. So that's really important. Let's see. Yeah, well, that's just it. I'm seeing with question marks, and there's no yours is yellow, but like the questions above you aren't. Isn't that weird? That is so weird. Here, I'm gonna take a screenshot so I can show it to Sienna. There we go. All right. So weird. Yeah, they're not showing up yellow. Normally, so for those of you who are like, what is she talking about? Normally questions will show up in yellow and it helps me like know which are questions, but none of your questions are showing up in yellow. So I'm like asking for questions and I'm like, oh, nobody's got questions. But then here we've got questions. So freaking weird. All right. What site do I use for shirts? I use Bonfire. Yeah, but even though like half the ones with question marks are showing yellow and then the other ones are not. It's very strange. Maybe they do that on purpose so it's not like inundated. You know what I mean? But Niknax business card template. I do not have one of those. I do not have one of those. And I haven't had the time to create one. At some point, maybe I will, but I haven't had time to create one. You can't scroll up. You mean you need to refresh because I can scroll. All right. Well, I think I'm going to hop off of here. I know I said I was going to stay on for 4 more minutes, but I think I'm going to hop off. Oh, yeah. A reminder, if you're here, if you're hanging out, if you're around, reminder to just check out our guidelines. Do a little brush up on our guidelines because we have been updating them. And you can always like see when I update them, I update the date at the top. So you can see when I've updated. Like when I go in, the first thing I do before I make any changes is I update the date at the top of the guidelines. So if you see a new date at the top, you know I've made changes. Yes, there should be Niknax stickers available. Yes. So yeah, just make sure you read through our guidelines if you're a seller, even if you're a buyer, because we have guidelines for buyers as well. There are guidelines for buyers in addition to sellers. So our buyers are held to guidelines as well. All right. So let's do a raid. Let's do a raid, and guess I'll see you guys a little bit later. All of you have. I'm going to be live tomorrow, 4:30 p.m. Eastern. But other than that, I will see you guys a little bit later. And remember, tonight is Groovy Tuesday. Make sure you guys hop aboard the Groovy train. Hang out tonight. Let's see who we've got live. Oh my gosh, it is happening right now on Niknax. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 lives happening right now. Let's see who all we have on. Oh my goodness. How about we go over who is live? Sorry, I'm trying to see numbers here. Looks like Nena's doing a live shop with me, but we've rated Nena a couple of times. So let's go over to, I'm going to say, I mean, we've rated Brindy a few times too, but she's doing hard goods. Let's do Brindy because she's doing hard goods and everyone else seems to be doing mostly jewelry. So we're going to go see Brindy. Everyone have a wonderful day, and I will see all of you later. Make sure to follow Brindy, give her some love and encouragement, and I will see you all later.